Did you know that it takes roughly 450 years for a plastic water bottle to decompose, and 90% of these aren't even recycled? Well, according to an article written by Carrie O'Connor on postconsumers.com, an environmentalist website, copyright 2011, even the smallest water bottles can take 450 years to biodegrade, and some can take up to 1,000. Not to mention that this is just some of the many products that are filling our landfills. The sad truth is that recycling is easy and cost effective. It's simply that we are too lazy to do it or forget about it altogether. Today we are going to look into how recycling can lessen the amount of garbage being put into our landfills. Next, we will crunch the numbers as we look into how reusing these materials ultimately saves us money and resources. And lastly, we will see how recycling can create jobs. With issues as large as pollution and global warming, recycling must be pushed as an alternative and a replacement to filling our green earth with mountains of trash. As the audience, you have the power to help make this a reality by pitching in and increasing the amount of recycling done in your community. Recycling is sort of like exercising. We all know that we should do it, but not all of us do it as often as we should, and some of us not at all. One of the many benefits of recycling, and the simplest, is that recycling keeps our landfills from overflowing. Earth is only so large, and we're running out of space in our landfills, especially near cities. Seaside cities have been the largest problem. Most have been dumping trash into the oceans for decades until recently. With widespread marine ecological collapses, this is no longer an option. Worst yet, it's difficult to find land in suburban and rural areas whose residents will allow landfills to come into their areas without a fight. This squeeze for landfill land is only going to get worse as the future becomes closer and closer to now. According to the University of Southern Indiana, USI.edu, copyright 2016, the U.S. is the leading trash-producing country in the world at roughly 1,600 pounds per person per year. This means that 5% of the world's 7.4 billion people generate 40% of the world's trash, according to this site. Imagine your city if you found out that a large landfill was being established right outside of town. Wouldn't you do anything you can to stop it? Well, the answer is recycling. The more we recycle, the less landfills need to be used. And this prevents things like groundwater waste and from toxic materials within these garbage mounds. It's no lie that recycling reduces landfill usage, which in turn is better for the environment. But it also helps us as people reuse materials, save precious natural resources that can't be manufactured, and save money. Getting the most out of your resources should be the main goal, because there is no reason why we can't use one product more than once, unless it's a natural resource. In order to see how reusing and recycling materials helps us save money and the environment, I decided to go to a local restaurant owner and see how they manage waste at a business. Mike Goodwater at Goody's Grill in Battle Creek stated in a verbal interview on June 22, 2016, "We recycle all of our cardboard boxes that our food comes to us in. Some are used by us again, and most are taken to the recycling bins. When I wasn't recycling, the garbage company came 2 or more times a week to pick them up. By recycling, it reduced the cost, overall amount of garbage, and enabled me to do my part in helping save the environment." Goodwater also said that he recycles all of the used oil at his restaurant. The state of Indiana's website, copyright 2016, states that reprocessing used materials to make new products reduces the consumption of natural resources. By recycling 42 million tons of newsprint, office paper, and cardboard, Americans saved 714 million trees and 292 million gallons of water in 2005 alone, according to this site. Oftentimes, products that are reused are more valuable because they are more refined. Now, reusing materials is important in maintaining a healthy earth, and by recycling, we can create thousands of jobs all over the world while saving the environment. Recycling creates jobs because it is a growth industry, according to an article on ecocycle.org, copyright 2016. From manufacturing to processing and collection to invention, recycling is a growth industry because it earns billions of dollars annually. Our need to recycle is only going to grow more urgent as populations grow and technology increases. Recycling creates far more jobs than landfills do. The website ecocycle.org states that a U.S. recycle rate of 75% by the year 2030 would create roughly 1.1 million jobs. When recycling, you need to collect materials, pick them up, and process them. After this is done, they are sorted and sold to markets. The product is then remade into a new one, and lastly, some of these products are just restored and sold through salvage and thrift stores. All of these steps require employees, according to the website. If anyone says that recycling doesn't create jobs is lying, because it takes far more employees to recycle than it does to bury something. In the end, recycling needs to be pushed more going forward. The population of Earth is only increasing, and this means more garbage. Unless we recycle, how much of the world will be covered by landfills and corrupted by pollution? During this speech, we looked into how recycling can lessen the amount of garbage being put into landfills across the globe. Next, we crunched the numbers in order to see how reusing materials ultimately saves us money and resources. And lastly, we saw how recycling can create jobs. The next time you use a bottle of water or use a cardboard box, remember to recycle it. It's easy and helps us keep our planet green, just how we try to keep our bodies healthy.